Okay, so now we have Gisela, Blade of the Gold Knight. It is 2 white, 1 red, 4 colorless for a 5/5 flying instant. She doubles the damage your spells do against your opponent's creatures and your opponent and his permanents, and she halves the damage that's done to you and your permanents. So, I actually, this is my favorite of the angels, including Avacyn. Because the card itself, it represents, I think, if you were to tell a person what red is and what white is, you would almost show them this card, because it kind of has everything. It's got the first strike, it's got the protection magic, and it's got the burn magic. So it does encompass everything. Now granted, it is 7 mana, and it's an odd color set, as we haven't seen a land for it yet, because the other 2 angels all have lands. With the green-white one, they have the Gavney Township, and with the blue-white one, you have the Moorland Haunts. So I'm assuming in this set, too, we're going to have a red-white specialty land, which should be, it's another land. And if not, we'll have the Ravnica block next, which has just tons of lands. So, well, that's if they keep it the same, but I really think it personifies what these 2 colors are. And the fact that it has first strike and flying, yes, it's not the most defense-heavy angel, like you have the green-white one has hexproof, the I don't remember what one the other had, but she had some sort of defense ability too. Oh, vigilance. And then you have Avacyn, who's indestructible. So she really is probably the most easy to kill, but I think she's also the strongest. Because doubling your damage, you have shocks doing 6, and your opponent uses a shock on you, it's going to do, I believe it's 2. Yeah, 2 damage. So you're really kind of cutting off, this card will pretty much cut off any sort of red deck, which is nice. So, once again, she's 7 mana, she's the most expensive out of the 3 angels. Like the other 3, like the other white, blue, and I don't think she'll see much play in Standard, but I do think that there's ways to use her. Doubling damage, it will be pretty good to actually use her with the Planswalker that I'll be showing next, which is the segue to the next card, which is the first of the 2 Planswalkers. And here he is. There you have it, the first of the 2 Planswalkers, Tybalt the Fiend-Blooded. He costs 2 mountains. That's right, 2. He is the first 2-drop Planswalker. And I remember in Innistrad when that came out, Liliana of the Veil, being a 3-drop was unheard of. And now they bring out this guy who is a 2-drop. But he comes in, I just want to get that out of the way. But he costs 2 mana, he does cost 2 mana, but he also has 2 loyalty counters, sorry about that. His +1 power is draw a card, then discard a card at random. -4 power is opponent takes damage equal to the number of cards in their hand. And then his ultimate, which is a -6, gain control of all creatures until end of turn, untap all of them, gain haste, untap all of them, they all gain haste. I'm trying to think where to start with this guy, because first of all, I just want to say the artwork for him is what I imagine like Rakdos the Defiler looking like as a teenager, because it looks just badass. I mean, the artwork for him is awesome. It's my favorite looking card of this set. And also I'm going to preface me judging this card by, Planswalkers are really hard to judge for me, because when I see every Planeswalker for the first time, I'm just like, yeah, meh. Example being, I saw a Tezzeret for the first time. Whoop-de-doo. 5/5 artifact creature out. Who cares? Not very good. A month or so later, after he's been played a bunch, I need 4 Tezzerets. I want them. To this day, I haven't went and got them, but, just to show ya. And I did the same thing with Sorin, too. Just kind of said, oh yeah, emblem for +1/+0. Nothing's fantastic. Little did I realize that you could use it twice. So I'm not a very good judge of Planeswalkers. And I think overall they're one of those things where you do have to wait and see how they're used. Because this guy, he's a 2-drop, he has 2 loyalty. So if you don't have something out to defend him right away, he's going to die pretty quick. So I think you have to base a deck around him almost. I mean, it can be done with the cards that are coming out, like Vexing Devil, which is a 1-drop for a 4/3. I mean, there's going to be stuff. And also, the fact that they're having a blue-red land come out is going to be pretty good, I think, too, because what that does is you draw a card and then discard a card. So I think they're doing but it's blue too, so I think they're going to be doing something with making red more discard heavy than burn heavy. I don't know, maybe I'm just looking too much into this, but his +1 power, draw a card, then discard a card at random. This is all nice and wonderful. I would have liked it a lot more if it was draw a card and then discard a card. Just no randomness. Just you draw the card and you pick the card you want to discard. I think it's the best way to kind of stack your library up. But the randomness is, I just don't like the random. I don't know why. You can't control it, I guess. So, but he has 2 mana, so what do you expect? He's almost half of a Faithless Looting. His +4, which is the deal your hand size to your opponent, it's pretty good, considering if you can play it right away, you'll have that on turn 3. Yeah, you'd be able to use that ability on turn 3, which means you would assume your opponent would have 4 to 5 cards in their hand, so you do 4 to 5 damage. That's pretty good. If you can get it, if you can hit that ability really early on, because the later in the game you get, that's not very good. However, the trade-off is your -6 ability is really good late in the game. You gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them, they gain haste. This ability rocks, I think, especially if you're playing a multi-way game. Like, there have been times we played 6 ways, and if you can gain control of all of those creatures, you pick who you want dead. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, as long as he stays alive. So overall, I like him, but right now I think they have him set at like $37. I don't know if I'd pay that for him. I would rather go buy 4 Vencers you can almost get 4 Vencers for 1 of him. So I think he'll go down in price, but, he's, for a 2-drop, what do you expect? He's not going to be a Jace or anything, but then what is? So, that's really all about him, and I'm going to show you now the final Planeswalker, and probably is my favorite. I'm going to say it right now, of the cards I've seen, this one is my favorite so far. So here it is, the second Planeswalker. This is the name, out of any of the names I've said, I'm probably going to butcher. It's Tamiyo the Moonsage. She was formerly known as Tamiyo, I believe it was Tamiyo of the Mirror, from the Kamigawa block. Somewhere in the Kamigawa block. She's 3 colorless, 2 blue, she has 4 loyalty. +1, you tap a permanent, they don't untap during their next untap step. Pretty good. I like that ability a lot. I think it's Stone, was it Ice Cage? kind of like similar to that ability. Then her -2 ability is you draw a card for each tap creature. That ability I like a lot because with blue having Dungeon Geists and some other tapping stuff, you can kind of tap them out and get a few cards from it. Nothing mind blowing because people will play around it unless it's the first ability you use, because you can use it off the cast, which is kind of rare. I don't want to say it's rare, but it's uncommon for Planeswalkers to be able to use a minus ability right away. And then her last ability which is her -8, which is, I think it might be, excluding Jace, the best single power a Planeswalker can give you. You have an unlimited hand size, and when a card is put into the graveyard from anywhere, return it to your hand. So you can use Ponder. If you have cards, you can use it just infinite amount of times. You know, if you're playing a old school Legacy-esque deck and you're playing a mill deck, you could get a Tome Score in your hand, use it, and assuming you played her for her mana cost, you would have the ability to use Tome Score 5 times and overturn 25 cards in one turn, and then you would still get it back in your hand for the next turn. So or you can bring back your mana leaks, or you can do so much with it. There's so much you can do. I don't even know where to start. There's so many good spells. The fact that you have an unlimited hand size is awesome. It's like a Venser's Journal. It's just, I thought about putting this in I have a milling Jace deck, and I thought about getting her to put her in there. I'm kind of leaning away from it, but at the same time, I really kind of want to, just to see what she does. But I think an optimal deck for her would be a blue-white deck with lots of Gideon's Lawkeepers, Gideon's Avengers, and some Burdens of Guilt, some Nimbuses, just stuff to generally tap opponents out and stall, and maybe use a milling strategy to win. You know, there's stuff. It's a pretty good, like I said, I really think she has one of the strongest ultimates. Maybe next to Karn's Restart the Game with all cards exiled by Karn. Because I think that's also up there too for some of the strongest abilities. But maybe that's because I've had that done to me, and I've done it, and it feels really good. So, let me know what you think of the video. Do you like the Planeswalkers? Do you not like them? If you don't like them, why? If you do like them, what do you like most? Which one's your favorite? Also, I want to point something out. If I'm actually going to challenge you guys. If you guys can get 100 subscribers to my channel by the time Avacyn Restored's out, I'll run a contest. The winner of the contest is going to probably be a Name the Channel contest, because I have no idea what to name this thing. I'm not very original with this kind of stuff. So, if we get 100 subscribers, I'll start a contest where I'll give you maybe a couple weeks, throw out names, and I will send, as long as you're in the United States, I don't know if I will send you 12 booster packs of Avacyn Restored. Or actually, no, let's not even do Avacyn Restored. 12 booster packs of Innistrad through Avacyn Restored. So, I don't even know what more to say. Sure. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. And holy crap, this is already 17 minutes long. That last part's going to get cut out. Okay. So, let's